Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to thank you very much for the holistic support that you have continued to give this channel in every sphere. I don't take it for granted. Now, since the mysterious death of Albert Ojwang occurred, Raila Amolo Odinga has remained silent. I watched something on his X handle, and Raila lamented and called for a speedy investigation to the death, and is also saying that this should extend to the many deaths from 203 to this end. That is the only thing that he has said. But I have listened to many allies of Raila Amolo Odinga who have really expressed deepest disappointment because they never knew that after signing an agreement and going overboard, above and everything, to popularize the broad-based government against the chagrin of many Kenyans, they never knew that this would befall them. In this video, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you how William Ruto has betrayed Raila Amolo Odinga and how he has really exposed this very fake kind of handshake. And Kenyans have been proved to be very right, and their fears have come true. But before that, allow me to give you a report on John Franklin fundraising. We finally managed to take him back to school. By the way, before I give this report, I need to demystify something. Many people went to the comment section. Some of them were telling me via WhatsApp that, Fred, you resemble that boy. It is either your child or your brother. You really resemble. Now that is not true. In fact, someone just connected me to John Franklin after watching how you guys have always come up in a big way to help those who are really in genuine need. Franklin, the father of Franklin comes from Western, the mother comes from Nyeri. So we are not related in any way. If I was doing any fundraising to any of my relatives, I would not shy away to tell you. I would tell you, guys, you've always helped me. Now, nimekwama na brother yangu ama sister yangu ama nani. I would not shy away. You know, I think because we got dark complexion, many thought they're relative. It's not bad even to do it to a relative, but I would have said it. So, ladies and gentlemen, after being denied entry when I first visited Thika High School, this time round, we were allowed, and I want you to get this report with a lot of humility and gratitude. Kindly check this. Hi guys, thank you very much. I'm finally back at Thika High School. We are actually, this is the administration block. The other time, nilifukuzwa pale kwa gate. So today, they allowed us to be here. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, because finally the little boy Frank is in school. Tulifika hivi yeye tunaongea pale kwa ofisi ya deputy, yeye ashaenda dome, ashapeleka vitu. But I want to thank you so very much. I was really concerned because this is a bright and a needy student, and guys, you came in a very big way. Last time we paid 21,000 Kenya shillings, and the 25 that was remaining was cleared, and I know people really sacrificed. And I don't know how much I can thank you, but may God really bless you. So I want to thank you in a very special way. We are here finally. Frank, please talk to us. You've been crying all along.
Mtu ningeweza tu kusema tu ni asante kwa kunisaidia. Nimeweza kurudi shule. Ila mlikuwa tu last week. Na finally mmeweza kunisaidia nimerudi shule. Asanteni tu sana. Nitaendelea ku work hard ili niweze kuapprove mmefanya ya maana sana.
Thank you, Frank. So these are people who don't even know you. They just had you pleading, and they have only sent me with one thing, that you work hard so that you are the future leader. So finally you can see him here. The other time, by the way, alikuwa analia tu. Wakati tukienda alikuwa analia tu. Sasa Frank, umenikosea.
Ile shopping tulifanya, wewe umepeleka dormitory na watu hawajaona, utafanya ni bei 10 ni siku kufanyia, but then work hard. God will bless us and weka Mungu mbele. That is the message that the parent that did this told me, that you work hard na weke Mungu mbele, you'll be a good way. So guys, thank you very much. Now naondoka hapa pole pole, naacha Frank. He has promised to work hard. May God really bless you for coming out in a big way for him. Frank, work hard. Mungu akubariki. Yes.
So just in a nutshell, guys, we managed, because the first time we paid 21,000 Kenya shillings, but they wanted zero balance. That's why I was really, pleading. But that's the reason why some people are saying that we are a relative wako. It's only that I owned this project because huyu mtoto alikuwa mara mingi aliniambia tafadhali tu usiniache. So I was pleading on his behalf. So we managed to get the balance that was remaining, and that is how we now paid the 25,000 Kenya shillings. If you look at that receipt, you realize that on the other end we have 25,000 Kenya shillings that has been paid. Then on this other end there is balance. As you can see, the balance is reading 0. So we managed. Now over and above that, I want to thank you so much, because there is another 5,000 on top that is for next term. So we managed to clear the whole of this term's fee. There is another 5,000 that was paid that is now going to, in other words, we've covered now part of next term's fee. If you want to stand with John Franklin, you can contact me, because we always even encourage if someone can pay directly to school. It only needs the admission number and his name. There is a procedure there. So guys, thank you very much for standing with John Franklin. You really put a smile on his face. He was literally crying because it was like the end. So I want to thank you so very much. Of course, there was some shopping that we also did. John Franklin was so happy that the moment we got to school and we were still talking to the deputy there, he rushed to, I think, the dormitory and let everything work. So I want to thank you, and thank you so very much for standing with him, and may God really, really bless you. So ladies and gentlemen, Raila Amolo Odinga has been betrayed, and I think he's just wondering what exactly is happening, because when Raila joined the broad-based government, very many people questioned that move and what might have informed that move to join Ruto. At a time when he was criticizing Ruto, he was saying his victory had been stolen. Now, Raila gave us an explanation that he didn't want Kenya to go the Somali way, and people have been trying to, and they were saying that he did not want Kenya to go the Arab Spring way. If you look at the nations that experienced the Arab Spring, talk of Egypt, Tunisia, or even Sudan, they have not recovered. Many years down the line, they have not recovered. So Raila gave that information that Kenya would have landed to the dogs. But people don't really agree with that, because after joining the government, he gave his people to work as cabinet secretaries, and he has continued to get certain goodies, and Oburu said wanakula share yao. So that's why people really think that the motive of joining the government was selfish, and people have not forgiven him. That's why it's now called a con man. But Raila is asking one question. He says he really fears that if he didn't come at the right time, in fact, he believes he saved Kenyans, he believes that Kenya would have disintegrated into some irretrievable mayhem that we would really regret. But ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you 4 reasons why Raila now regrets this handshake, and why he has been betrayed by William Ruto, and of course by extension he has really been exposed, because now I don't think the motive was to save, and even if it was to save, there were very many other ulterior motives in it. Now, number 1, after welcoming William Ruto in Nyanza, and the culmination was in Homa Bay Raila Odinga Stadium, and the message was very clear: Ruto kumi bila break. Jalu must calculate. Raila, you made a good, a good move. They were really praising William Samoei Ruto. There was a lot of mobilization, and they thronged that Raila Odinga Stadium to show the nation that we are going to support William Ruto. They were even saying, in fact, that meeting during that holiday, it was meant to show the Wamunyoro team that OOKO na William Ruto. Now, just barely less than a week after welcoming William Ruto and showering him with the presence in Homa Bay, the government of the day, William Ruto is the president, the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces. The government goes and pick a young man, the only child to his parents, a man who had just started his life after his father toiled to educate him, to take him to school. Then they want to start enjoying the fruits. He's got a newly wedded wife. They are just starting their lives to continue the family line because he was only one child. Then the police pick this young boy. The police pick this young man, not young boy, in front of the parents, never to come back again. And then they continue with the lie that he hit himself in the wall. From the onset, it was a lie. And this was a betrayal to Raila Odinga, a betrayal to the people of Nyanza, and the betrayal to the people of Homa Bay. Listen to Oburu explaining this, because this is unacceptable, and it has really betrayed the bond between them. Listen to Oburu Odinga.
I come from that region. What am I going to tell the people of Homa Bay when I go there? That we are in broad-based government. And I don't explain to them how their son was picked and then put in some police cell, where there are many police cells, Mr. Speaker.
Oburu says, what am I going to tell the people of Homa Bay? We welcomed William Ruto. This is how he can pay us. You know, the buck stops with the president. And the reason why we are saying this is a betrayal, when you sign a deal, the system must understand how things are working. Ukiwaambia sasa hivi tu sisi na Raila tuko pamoja, so if there is something, please contact us first. For example, being in this broad-based government, they would have just, maybe told Raila, kuna this boy ambaye anatukana mkubwa wetu, hebu talk to him. That is, I'm comparing what they should have done compared to the final death that they gave, that this boy faced. In fact, sometimes I even argue they could have even gone crazy enough, because there is freedom of expression. But if they didn't want to even to uphold this freedom, si wangemchukua wamfunike macho, they just threaten him. They drive him all the way from Nairobi, from Homa Bay to Nairobi, wanamwambia wewe leo tunakumaliza. Kwa nini unachezea jina ya mkubwa wetu? This boy would have confessed, sitaifanya tena. They would have even, what they should have done to this only child is to threaten, hata wangemwambia block that Twitter account. This boy is a teacher. So ladies and gentlemen, you welcome, you mobilize and entertain William Ruto in Homa Bay. Then less than 7 days, less than a week, they pick up a young man from Homa Bay. Oburu said it, what am I going to tell them? Let's say there's a rally and William Ruto is going to Homa Bay, for example, today. Will he be allowed to speak? It's not very easy. The person who is doing this, the person who complained is a deputy inspector general, a man who wields a lot of power. They know that they're in broad-based government. They know that if such a thing occurs, it is going to be very detrimental to William Ruto and his handshake. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a betrayal. Number two, this betrays the intent of joining Ruto. Raila told us, and of course they have always continued to say, that there was some fake 10-point agenda. Very fake. There is no any other way we can call it. How do we know that something is fake? For example, if you buy something from the market that you thought was genuine, how do you verify that it is fake? If you didn't understand, if you didn't know, you come with it, and after you've started using it for some time, you realize that this thing, it either deteriorates very fast, kama ni nguo inararuka, kama ni kiatu, kama ni simu or electronic, within no time it's hanging. So when these broad-based partners told us that they had signed some 10-point agenda, we were to wait whether it was real. One of them was abductions. The abduction was to stop. There were very many of them, but abductions. And I don't know, compensating those who had been killed before. Ever since Raila shook hands with William Ruto, there has continued to be a lot of abductions, including one of their own now from Homa Bay. Now, this betrays the 10-point agenda that they've been telling us. It was fake. It was meant for cameras. It was meant to justify this bread-based and blood-based, kind of arrangement. Because had they gone there with genuine, intent, Raila would have told Ruto, stop the abductions. But now, not only stopping it, they have not only continued with it, but now they have gone to Raila's backyard. Na wanamchukua na wanamuua. So there was nothing like the 10-point agenda. We've always criticized it, and that is what it is. And if you think I'm lying, listen to Sifuna himself, the Secretary General, who is saying, if all this will continue, then a time will come, a turning point, when we'll say, you have disobeyed our agreement, therefore we have to sabotage. Listen to Edward Sifuna.
Na baba, mimi baada ya kusaini hiyo kitu, unajua kazi yangu ni rahisi sana. Mimi nakaa na marking scheme tu. Nakaa na marking scheme. Siku na agenda 10 pale. Iwapo Mkenya mwingine yoyote atachukuliwa na polisi ati abducted, afichiwe mahali, chama cha UDA na kiongozi wake William Ruto watakuwa wamekeuka mkataba ambao tumeandikisha. Iwapo polisi wa Kenya hawatawajibika, watoe fidia kwa familia za watu ambao walipoteza maisha yao kulingana na jinsi ambavyo huo mkataba unasema, Mheshimiwa William Ruto na chama chake cha UDA watakuwa wamekiuka mkataba wetu.
So you realize that they have been exposed. There was nothing like 10-point agenda. Hakuna. Na tunaongea hapa, wengine wanasema, oh, we have got a lot against William. No, we've got nothing against William Samoei Ruto. He is our president, but he needs to improve. You can't continue. Your government cannot continue butchering youths. Yet you tell them, we will be a hustler. You want to give them a pillar of hope. You want to show them that a hustler can become something. Yet your government continues to. Very bad. Number 3, this has diluted completely the explanation that Raila has continued to give us. His people, his allies continue to tell us that they also went to this handshake to annihilate the killing of their people every election cycle. If there is one fact that we cannot run away from, and Raila has continued to say it, is that anytime there is an election cycle, Luos or the supporters of Raila Amolo Odinga, whether you talk of CORD, NASA, and now Azimio, people went to the street and people were killed. Something that they've never talked about. I thought that immediately they get into government, watasema they should be compensated. You cannot compensate life, but you give the mother or the parent just a token. Because maybe the person who is dead is the breadwinner. Ama ameacha wazazi wake hapa na wajukuu. So I thought they would talk about that. They didn't. This has diluted that. Because now, let me tell you why it has diluted. They say that when they are not in government, their people are killed. Which is very true. So they say we got into this government so that our people should not suffer the bullet anymore. But now, they are not on the streets. They are in the government. They have, they've continued to brag that we stabilized this government. Yet they are, this is sad. Their son is picked in front of the parents, never to come back. So where is the justification that when you are in government, your people will not suffer? Where is that justification? Kama anachukuliwa mpaka kwa nyumba. Where's the justification? It's all the same. You're outside the government, a killer government will always be a killer government. A rogue system will just be a rogue system, whether you are in government or not. Because if it was true that when you are in government, you don't suffer, hawange muua. And that is what we have continued to say. When you have a rogue government, a government that does not have the interest of the people at heart, people will continue suffering equally. Kama watu waliingia kwa gava to punish wa Munyoro, mwenye aliwawa atoki Nyeri, atoki Madeira, Mwenye aliuawa anatoka Luoland. Wale ambao wamebrag, they want to punish Rigathi Gachagua and these people. They are saying we are in this government. Ruto, kumi fresh. Look at that. So the justification that they got into government for their people to feel safe, no. The safety of our people is one that is in the constitution, where a president takes oath and says he's got the mandate to protect lives and property, to respect the rule of law. That is the justification that we want. Not some people getting into government, now they feel they're under the shadow of the government. Now wengine wanaona ni kama sio wa Kenya. That is why we rejected the explanation of Wamunyoro then, ya kwamba kama hukupigia serikali kura, then we sio shareholder. So there's no justification. Usikuje kutuambia wewe umeingia kwa government ndio watu wako wasikufe. Wanakufa hata kama uko kwa government. Number 3, Ruto does not respect Raila. After Raila had failed to capture the AU seat, Ruto whipped the emotions of Kenyans and the emotions of those who support Raila supporters. And he was saying that I have made a commitment that moving forward, we shall respect Raila. Take a look.
You have been my party leader. You have been my senior. Today, by God's grace, I'm president. I want you to be treated well. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure that you have respect in Kenya. And I am not doing this so that for any other reason that is selfish to me. I am doing this because I'm a younger person. You are an elder as far as I'm concerned, by age. And the contribution you have made to this Kenya deserves respect and deserves support.
Guys, the people who have made Raila to be who he is are the supporters. So if you want to tell us that you want to ensure Raila is respected, how can you tell Raila that is respected when his people are being butchered? How can you assure Raila of your support that people must respect him, yet you go to one of his very backyard, Homa, one of the very places where Raila enjoys massive support, and you pick one of his supporters, or so to speak, that is killed, and you still want to tell Raila that you will ensure Raila is respected? If you want to respect Raila, respect his people, respect all Kenyans. This idea of hoodwinking the supporters of Raila, that you love him, yet your people still go behind your back and kill a young man, is not true. There is no respect, and if there is anyone who still thinks that this government respects Raila, there is nothing like respect. The government wants to survive, and they are riding in Raila's court. If you respect someone, you don't go behind his back and you kill his people. You want to tell me Lagat and this group did not know that there is a broad-based government? They would have just made a phone call. This thing would have been solved. So there's nothing like respect. Now kai ukijua hakuna respectable. If you respect someone, respect their people. I can't tell you that I respect you and I disrespect your wife and your children and your brother. There's no respect. Respect is holistic. So there's nothing like, respect. There ilikuwa kudanganya supporters wa Raila. What we are crying for is a government that respects the rule of law. A government that treats people equally. I'm against this idea that you must go to State House. You must join the government. You must sing praises for a government to dish out projects, programs, to respect you, to give you jobs. No. Once you've been elected and sworn in as a president, you are the father of the nation. You should treat people equally, whether they voted you or not. This idea ya kwamba tumeingia kwa serikali sasa unaona wengine wako nje, it has really backfired on them. I don't know what you think, but it's sad. And Raila now, can he convince Kenyans ya kwamba mimi niliingia huko, because aliingia wakati Jesus walikuwa na wawa, mimi niliingia huko kusaidia nini? Watu wanaendelea kufa. So what do you tell the new nation? What do you tell the youth? What do you tell Kenyans? And Ruto has exposed that they have a very selfish motive with Raila in the handshake. He has proved that he does not respect Raila. And he has really exposed this. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. Once again, thank you for standing with Frank. May God bless you in a very special way. May God bless you abundantly.